Welcome, beautiful body Saint Germain family to match week 5 of UEFA Champions League predictions. And today's guest with me, we can call him AAM. He's a Chelsea fan. Welcome, AAM.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure having you on. So, going straight into the prediction, we have Bayer Leverkusen versus FC Salzburg. Leverkusen, obviously, they have looked a bit inconsistent in the UCL. I think they beat Feyenoord 4-0, but then they lost to Liverpool 4-0, while Salzburg have been one of the worst teams in the competition. How do you see this going? And by the way, every team that's on the left is the home side. So, for example, here, Leverkusen is the home team.
Yeah, well, I would say, two teams, German-speaking teams.
True.
They're both kind of off form. Leverkusen's not like they were last season.
True.
Salzburg also a bit off form, but they have some good players. People should not look at them as a weaker side. They have Konata as a striker, Amar Dedic, up and coming right back. Kjaergaard is still a midfielder. They have always injured, but I would say probably a draw.
Ooh.
For me there.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, now that we're coming into the latter end of this Champions League group stage, teams will be fighting for their survival. So maybe Salzburg can pull off an upset, but I went with a 4-1. I think Salzburg, they usually play open in their league and in some games, so I don't think they can handle Bayer Leverkusen in this game.
Sure.
Going into next prediction, it's immediately very personal here. Paris Saint Germain, obviously, facing up versus Bayern Munchen at the Allianz Arena. I mean, you know what? I would just drop my prediction first. I'm going to say 2-1. I think PSG will narrowly beat Bayern Munchen in this game. How are you feeling?
Actually, will go for the opposite. I think probably 2-1 win for Bayern Munchen. I know as a PSG fan, you want to be optimistic and all that, but I mean, PSG isn't a project. It is a process.
What are Bayern in then? Bayern also in a project company. That's a project.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, new coach, but you look at the players; they're well more established.
That is true.
Neuer, I know he's not at the end, but whatever. And Leroy Sané, Gnabry, etc. You have a bunch of these players. PSG also has a strong team, although your attack is weak. That's the problem. That's something you gotta fix for in the next summer. I know you want Kvaratskhelia, you personally.
Yep.
And as striker is also something you criticized the PSG leadership for not getting. But
that is true.
Yeah, you're both in good form. I just think Bayern Munchen at home will just edge it out with a 2-1 win.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely take that as your prediction. From a lot of people, they've said that Bayern will destroy PSG. So, I'll definitely take a Bayern 2-1. Moving on to the next game, we have FC Barcelona versus Brest. Obviously, last time Barca faced that Ligue 1 side, which was Monaco, they lost 2-1. But that was away. That was, more in the beginning of the Flick era. What do you think?
I have to be honest. Big up for Brest for even participating in this tournament, but with the form Barcelona's in, that midfield is so strong. It'd be shocking if they do not win. So, let's go with a 3-0 win. Barcelona, probably a Gavi masterclass again.
Wait, you do know that Brest are like 4th in the Champions League table? Like they drew to Leverkusen.
I did not know that, but I mean,
it's still
Barcelona, and given just Barcelona. So maybe I'm just completely clueless.
No.
PSG fans will say I'm some Ligue 1 hater, which is fine, maybe. But I'll go for Barcelona. If I had to bet $1 million, I'll go Barcelona.
What score?
3-0.
3-0, wow. Yeah, I went with the Barca victory too, but I think they'll have to fight for that with the 3-2. Brest will fight, but yeah, I agree with you. I think Barca will be the winning team in this game. Sparta Prague versus Atletico Madrid. Obviously, Atletico Madrid, they were really bad. I think they were on a 3-game losing streak, but obviously that ended when they faced Paris. No, actually 2-game losing streak, and that ended versus PSG. Sparta Prague, I don't think they've been that strong this season. But they're at their home ground. Last time Atletico played away, they lost 4-0 to Benfica.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Atletico Madrid is actually on a good form. So, when I think about it, even though Slavia Prague is the weaker team here, and Atletico Madrid is actually in a good form, I will still go with a draw.
Mm.
That's my feeling of it. I think it'll be one of these, um, boring games like 1-1 or 0-0, typical old school Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just have a feeling of a draw, even though they're good form.
Yeah. No, I went with the 2-0, but now listening to your, I don't know, like assessment summary of the potential game, yeah, I'm feeling Atletico will probably be worse than a 2-0.
Yeah, add to that. There is a keeper, Slavia Praha. He's a young keeper, Kinski. I think he is like one of the up and coming keepers. That's really good. So I think he's gonna have a
Okay.
good game. So build up on his season. That's
Is he from the Czech Republic?
Yes, he's Czech. He's from Czechia. He was out on loan actually last season, so he's now the new starter for his club.
Okay. All right. Great to know. Slovan Bratislava versus AC Milan. I think Slovan Bratislava have scored only one goal so far this UCL, the worst out of any team. AC Milan, I mean, they were not that good. I think they lost to Liverpool. They lost to Leverkusen, some other games. But then they beat Madrid amazingly at the Santiago Bernabeu. Now going away to Slovan Bratislava. I can go early with my prediction this time. I'm going for a 4-2 victory for AC Milan. I think Slovan Bratislava will go for the win because I think every game now they pretty much have to win to make it through. So they will be just too open for AC Milan. But AC Milan's defense is not good enough. I believe we'll concede still. What do you think?
Well, the team from Bratislava is like last. They have 0 points. I think minus 13 goal difference.
Wow.
I don't like to speak about statistics too much. You personally know I'm more of the
I just.
real ones. I prefer that term over I test. They're just simply much weaker than Milan. You'll have to go for Milan win. I think I'd be surprised they concede two, but yeah, I'll go for Milan win.
All right. Moving on, we have PSV versus Shakhtar. There isn't that much to say. PSV been decent, but up against the bigger sides, they've not looked that good. Even against PSG, they weren't that good. And then you have Shakhtar. I don't know that much about Shakhtar, so yeah, I'm basically gonna just jump into it. 2-1 PSV. I think they're home. They should get the win. You know anything about Shakhtar?
Not necessarily too much. I mean, you have these Ukrainian youngsters they bring in. Still, they have a few Brazilians that are, at their disposal that they sign every year from Brazil. Young team.
Yeah.
So similar to PSV, just young player making machine to sell to bigger clubs.
Yeah.
Although with that being said, I think Shakhtar will actually win.
Wow. Shocker.
Yeah, just why is it a shocker?
I mean, they're from Ukraine.
So
Do they still play in like? I think last season they played like in Poland and Hungary and shit.
they do not play in Ukraine, obviously. They play in neighboring countries, given the
Oh,
circumstances of the current war and the Russia-Ukrainian war.
yeah. And so, what would your result be?
1-0 Shakhtar, maybe a Sudakov banger or something like that.
All right. Monaco Benfica. This is a good game. Monaco, obviously, they have. I think they're sitting in like top four. They've been very good this season. They beat Barca, and then they've just been consistent against the worst teams they've faced. Benfica, they've been good, but they can become and Monaco at home as well. Well, what do you think?
I actually think Monaco will be the only Ligue 1 team to win this match day. So I don't know. Ever since Sporting kind of overtook them as the main Portuguese team,
Yeah.
Benfica hasn't been as good. You look at, for example, Antonio Silva. He's not as hyped up as he used to be. I can't pronounce his name, but the left winger from Norway gets barely any minutes. I just don't rate their coach too much, so I'll have to go with Monaco, which, as you said, is a good team. They are a good team, so all we can hope is they win the league and maybe get more of a two-tier, not two-tier, but like two teams competing for it, which will boost Ligue 1 and improve PSG as well. So yeah, hala Monaco,
What result?
3-1 Monaco.
Well, I went for a 2-2. I think Benfica will need the points more. And Monaco, surprisingly enough, aren't that good at home because they don't really have like a home atmosphere. Their stadium is always empty because there aren't that many people living in Monaco, and most of the people living in Monaco, they don't like care about the football. So, but yeah, I'm going for a 2-2. But yeah, I hope Monaco wins. Next up, we have Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Obviously, I will be doing a live watch along on this game on Wednesday here on the YouTube channel. As we know, Liverpool have been the best team pretty much in the world so far. Only lost one game this season. Picked up all possible UCL points, 12 out of 12. Sitting first in the Premier League. Watched their game yesterday. Today they won. So, I mean, according to the better and everything, Liverpool are confidently the favorites in this game, being at home as well. But that's exactly why I'm going for an upset to Real. I think it's too like Liverpool are going to win, and I think Madrid are going to come in as underdogs, surprisingly, into this game, and I think that's what they need. Plus, after losing 3-1 to AC Milan, losing to Lille, Madrid definitely need a bounce back game.
Well, unfortunately for Real Madrid, this will not be their bounce back game because, as you said, Liverpool has been the best team in the world. Some people could say Barcelona, but for me, Liverpool is number one. They are 8 points clear in the Premier League, 9 points ahead of the third. And I mean, they're just better. Look, Salah has been the best player in the world probably this season. It's been amazing.
No. I watched him. I watched him today.
You don't like him. I
They
don't
played
care.
Southampton. He was ass, man.
I don't care. He's the best player in the world. And even though Real Madrid has a superstar team, which I think many players are overrated, I mean, for example, like Bellingham, I know you don't rate him either, but
What do you think of Mbappe?
oh, he's just a fantastic player. I mean, if Real Madrid actually win, I can just see like a masterclass from Kylian Mbappe. So
Yep.
yeah, it'll be an exciting game, but I believe that despite Mbappe's brilliance, Liverpool will snatch the win.
All right. What's your score prediction?
Let's just say 3-2, hat-trick Salah and 2 goals from Kylian Mbappe.
All right. Moving on. Dinamo Zagreb versus Dortmund. Dortmund being good. Dinamo being ass. No, actually, they have been good ever since that humbling defeat in the beginning, losing 7-2, I believe, to Bayern. What do you think?
Dortmund is such a weird team. Like some seasons, like last season, they reached the final. Other seasons, they're like this weird. They're not particularly standing out in the Bundesliga either, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah.
But Dinamo Zagreb, they have some decent players. Obviously, there is Baturina, probably most well-known one. But I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be just one of these like 1-1 game or 2-2 game where Dortmund gets like a equalizer.
Right. I went with a 3-2, so very, very narrow prediction there. I mean, the last time I remember Dinamo, you remember when they sent out Mourinho Spurs, that RCH hat-trick?
Yeah, that was an insane game.
So, but I believe they don't have RCH anymore. They used to have Olmo as well. But let's see. Next up, Celtic Brugge. I mean, boring game. This shouldn't be played in the Champions League. This is more of a Europa League game. Going immediately 1-1. I don't care.
That's true, but that's thanks to UEFA with this new format that essentially destroyed the Champions League. I'll actually go for a Celtic win. The big up Celtic. It's a club that I really appreciate. So
No,
yeah,
they're
I'll
home
go
as well, so
that's true. And they have some decent players. Obviously, the former Spurs player Carter, the Vikers, how they pronounce his name. You have Furuhashi, the Japanese striker. They have other Japanese players, and I think they'll win. Yeah, they'll win like 2-1 or something.
2-1. All right. Next up is Bologna home versus Lille. I believe Bologna is the only team that haven't scored, or yeah, I don't think that it's some bad, very bad record, and I think they've lost all their games this season as well. So if they want to stay in the competition, they need to start winning every single game they have left. Lille obviously doing well. They beat Real Madrid, they beat Atletico Madrid, and they drew to Juventus.
That is true what you said, although I would still go with them winning at home. Obviously, they don't have their coach from last season. They did sell Xerxes and Calafiori.
Yeah.
They permanently also gave me Arnautovic, so he didn't come back either. And I ain't gonna lie, I can't really tell which players they've signed in the summer, but I just have a gut feeling they'll win.
How much?
Well, let's just go for a 1-0 win.
1-0. All right. I went with a 2-0 Lille. But after beating all those teams, maybe it's against a team like Bologna where Lille did not look that good. Could happen. Juventus Villa. Obviously, I think Villa lost their first game of the UCL this season in the last fixture, last match week. I can't exactly remember who it was. I think it was Club Brugge they lost to. And it was at home as well, if I'm correct. Or at least they drew. Juventus, I mean, they've been a bit under the resurgence. Obviously, it's still a very young squad under a young manager in Thiago Motta. But I went with a 2-0 win to Juve. But Villa could win as well. So what do you go with?
I'm not trying to be the opposite of you again, but I think Aston Villa will win at home. Yes, I know their form sucks. I know they are having a very difficult time. While Juventus are, a resurgent team actually. But
Yep.
I still think Aston Villa will win. So
2-0 Villa.
yeah, yeah. So Douglas Luiz will lose against his former team.
All right. Next up is Sturm Graz versus Girona, another game I don't really care about. Two bad sides. I mean, Girona, they were very good in La Liga last season, but similarly to Bologna, you talked about, I mean, they kept their manager, but they lost like 5, 6 key players. They haven't been the same. Yeah. What are you going with?
I actually have a question. How did Sturm Graz qualify?
They won the league for the first time in like 50 years or something.
Oh well, okay. I
But
don't know
but but
how.
Salzburg are also in the competition.
Well, I don't know how you qualify by winning the Austrian league, but Girona, I know they're not as they used to be, as like last season, and as you mentioned, but Girona, I think they have to win. There is no way they lose.
So I go with a 2-1 Girona.
Then I'll copy you for once, 2-1.
2-1. Next is Red Star Stuttgart. Stuttgart looked. I mean, they've been continuing to be good since last season with their manager and Red Star. I know that they recently lost 4-2 to Barca and have not been convincing in the UCL this season. But going away to Belgrade is always tough. What do you think?
Well, it can be tough because Stuttgart actually has a tough team. You know, you look at their players, for example, Enzo Milot, he's really banging this season.
Yeah.
Dennis Undav, big up my Kurdish brother, he scores many goals. You have their winger, for example, Furich. Um, Nubel is at Stuttgart as well, but I believe this season.
Yep.
They have a really good team, so both experienced players and younger players. So I'll go for a 2-0 win for the Stuttgart.
Similar goal difference. I went with a 3-1 to Stuttgart. We have Young Boys versus Atalanta, who have been very good this season, both in the league and in the UCL. I'm going with a 3-0 Atalanta.
Just have a feeling it will be a draw, despite Atlanta being good.
Okay. And 1-1, 0-0, 2-2.
Well, let's just go with a 1-1 because Young Boys is clearly a weaker team. And the only reason I actually say it's a draw because not every obvious prediction actually happens. So
That is true.
you got to go for the unexpected results sometimes, and I believe this will be one of them.
All right. Sporting versus Arsenal. Away in Sporting, away in Lisbon, and obviously City went there and lost 4-1. What's Arsenal going to do?
Well, they will also receive a defeat, but they don't have their coach, Ruben Amorim, not anymore, at least. So we don't really know how things are going to plan out for him with a new coach. But I still believe with the players they have, you have Gyökeres, you have the Danish, their captain, the Danish defensive midfielder.
Hjalmar?
His name just doesn't pop up in my head right now. You have Inacio as a center back. Yeah,
Diamonde.
I don't rate Diamonde, but they have, for example, as well Quaresma.
Quaresma.
They
They have Cuenda. Have you seen Cuenda?
That name does not ring any bell, but they have a really good team that's on form.
Yeah.
So I'm going for a 2-0 win.
Pop.
No, that's nice. So let's just say Gyökeres goal. Harper comes in. I believe his name is Harper, the Danish striker, young striker. He scores the second.
We'll take that. City Feyenoord. City obviously got thrashed by Spurs, and I think they've lost their last 5 games. Do you think now they will end the losing streak?
They will. They are getting annihilated as of right now. They as you said, they lost their last 5 matches. When was the last time that happened for Pep Guardiola?
Yeah.
If they lose to Feyenoord, it'd be a miracle for Feyenoord to win. Especially away, there's no way. Manchester City will end the streak and they will regain.
All right. I went with the 4-1. And you went with a?
And I'll go with a 3-0.
3-0. Inter Milan versus Leipzig. Good game. One defensive, one offensive team. I'm jumping in with my 2-0. Leipzig, I believe they've lost all 4 games, surprisingly, this UCL's campaign. And I think that will continue.
Yeah, Leipzig is more of an established team nowadays. It's like Dortmund. We know what we're getting with them. Inter's on the up. You have to go with a 2-0 win for Inter. There are some good players. Lautaro Martinez, Marcus Thuram.
Barella, Sommer, Dumfries.
Sommer, yeah. They have a really good team. So, yeah, they win 2-0.
All right. That was it for Match Week 5, Champions League predictions. Pleasure having you on AAM.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, pleasure. And I will let you know, the viewers and AAM, who won between us when it came to the predictions. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. And as usual, allez, Paris.